Back on the beach for another dive. Big southerly coming through by midday. Got to take advantage of this nice flat conditions. Hopefully it's still clear enough. Be nice to get a whole week of diving in, or 6 days anyway. See how we go. This is one of my favourite shore dives when you've got a lot of time. It's about 1.5 k's straight out to the furthest point, but I do this in a big like triangle, usually because of the current. But anyway, it's a magic swim. You need a few hours to really enjoy it properly. I was hoping for some clean water, but the first 300-400 metres was absolute filth, as you'll see from this clip. Anyway, I still was hoping that it was going to clean up as I got out further. By some miracle I came straight down on this little Hemaris lobster, and it was a crack that he couldn't get too far away in, and managed to whip him out, which was good. At least I had something in the keeper bag. I spent the next hour or so diving bommy after bommy. The water gradually was improving as I was getting further and further out, until I got right out to my target area, and this was just beautiful water here. Fantastic. I noticed a nice longer piece in the ledge, stuck the gun in to mark it. There's a fair bit of current at this stage. Here's this beautiful longer piece lobster walking out in the open. It can be quite challenging when they're like that, because he can just bolt in any direction. They're a little bit more doughy than the Hemaris, but anyway, he goes the right way. Now this is a technique where you grab the antenna but don't pull on it, just hold the lobster in place and allow me to get my other hand up to its horn. Once you've got hold of a horn, you can pull the lobster out. So yeah, but anyway, have a look at this. As I was coming up from my dive, I looked behind and said, well, there's a huge lobster just sitting right out in the open. So anyway, got the lobster longer piece in the bag. The whole time I was putting the longer piece in the bag, I kept my eye on the lobster. I could see him clearly from the surface, and he just wasn't moving, just sitting there. And it's not too often you see them out in the open. Usually they're getting ready to travel when they're like this. But anyway, it was one of the easier captures. Even though lobsters can swim pretty quickly, these oversized guys tend to be a little bit doughier and not too quick as they're initially taking off. So even if they jump, you can usually still get your hands out and grab them. So look at beautiful colours on him, just lovely clear water, just magic for diving. You'll see when I get him up to the surface that this is a male eastern rock lobster. They're quite easy to diagnose. I've run it over in past videos, but that's why this is called big boys, because all the big lobsters that I found were all males, and yeah, they tend to have these giant big heads on the oversized ones, and the tail really isn't that much bigger than, say, an 18 centimetre lobster. All the growth seems to happen in the head. Not that the tail's tiny, but the heads just turn into these massive footballs. Male diagnostic features. You can see from my keeper bag just how strong the current was. It's just getting pulled right behind the float. Was ripping along. So anyway, I thought I'd got the oversized measurer just to put it on, just to give you an idea of just how fast. That's the 18 centimetre measurer. There's a good 6 centimetres more of that lobster, which makes him about a 24 centimetre lobster. I don't know how much exactly these weigh, but I think they're somewhere around that 6 kilo mark. They're a genuine weight to lift out of the water. So yeah, beautiful lobster. And I had, you can see one leg is missing off this lobster, which is, when you see the next one, you'll understand why that was important. I had the gun wedged in well so that I could just have a little bit of a rest on the surface out of the current. With my poor old wetsuits, copping a few holes. My new wetty wetsuit, these crays are just whacking their legs straight through me. Straight through my chest and straight through the arms, but anyway, that's what happens. So anyway, I'm just having a little bit of a rest up, to slowly pull myself back along the float line. Enjoying this beautiful warm water, 22 to 23 degrees, which is incredibly warm for November where we are. You might have noticed where I grabbed that other longer piece that there was a smaller one in the crack just above it. So because the gun's wedged in right above that ledge, it's easy to get back, and I thought I'll go and check that one out, see if I can take that one as well and get my bag limit of longer piece lobsters. This longer piece has made a very poor decision in where he's holed up. He can't go anywhere. He's wedged in on all sides. It's a simple matter to grab him by the horn and pull him out, flip him upside down, make sure it hasn't got any eggs on it, which it doesn't. So there we go, nice clean longer piece. This is a female longer piece. You can see from the pleopods underneath it's a female. But anyway, no eggs, so you're allowed to take it. There I've got my nice bag limit of them, very clean, nice, beautiful colours on the longer piece. So I swim about another 30 foot away from where I just released this big oversized lobster. I look down, I can see another big lobster. I thought it was probably the same lobster because it was so close up against the ledge. And anyway, yeah, once again I kept a really good eye on it from the surface and dived down, and there he is sitting out in the open. I have a look at it, it's actually a little bit bigger lobster than the last one. And if you count the legs, you'll see they're all there, 10 legs. So definitely a different lobster. He's trying to back into a crack that he couldn't even get his tail into. So not the sharpest tool in the shed. And anyway, so I grabbed this big football, and again, this is another male lobster. And yeah, another huge big boy. There's a feisty big boy. He's playing up like a second-hand lawnmower. You can see he's got those big front leg spikes digging into my hands and making me shift my grip around so he doesn't get too much of a rip into these gloves. These gloves don't really give you any protection from the lobsters, but they do have a superb grip because of the cotton. But yeah, you got to keep moving your hands around, because if you really let them go to town on your hands, they'll do you a lot of damage. And I've got quite a few holes through the back of my hands at the moment. I just put my hand on the back of this lobster to give you an idea of just how big the head is. Unlike Donald Trump, I don't have small hands. So yeah, this is a big boy. By this stage the current's just blowing me off the high point of the reef, so I decide to start swimming back in. I don't want to end up miles and miles away from the car. Anyway, on the way back in I'm looking again and I see this another longer piece. When you see all this growth on it, it means it hasn't molted for a while, and that's often an indication that it's carrying eggs. And anyway, I pull this one out carefully and you can see the absolutely fluoro orange eggs on this female longer piece. So obviously it's got to go back. I've already got my bag limit anyway, but I just thought I'd show everyone what a rode up, lobster looks like. You see it's very different from the eastern rock lobsters, which have got that dark red, quite hard to see eggs. This time of year a lot of these Panularis species will have eggs on them, so it can be a little bit, if you pull female lobsters out, there's a fair chance you're going to have eggs on them. Here's another Homarus lobster. Pull this one out to see what, and straight up, eggs, straight again. So I didn't muck around with this one, I just let it go. And yeah, again you can see the eggs are really obvious. Let it go to breed. Here I am getting back out on the shore. You can see how the weather's changed, the wind's come up, it's a bit of crazy swell starting to develop, and I'm miles away from the car, so big long walk back on the beach. The next day the weather's looking superb, so I give Paul a buzz and take my little tinny out. We went back to that high point, and the current had backed right off, which was nice. The water was still beautiful and clear and warm, and Paul's swimming along and he's just seen this great big oversized lobster walking along the bottom and done the right thing and gone down and grabbed it so we can get some film. It's amazing how the conditions have changed. It's glassed out, beautiful. He's a happy man pulling this lobster in. Once again, it's another big male lobster, which is unusual. All these big boys that we're seeing on this dive. While it's nice to have a film of these big boys and just catch them because they're just so impressive to look at, obviously also want to go home with a feed, so it was very nice to see this lobster. He was a very poor decision maker as well, because this guy could get into a ridiculously out of reach ledge. It went through about 15 foot back in, but anyway, he's been a little bit slow on the uptake, and I managed to get my hand round him, and I was very happy that I did. So he's a beautiful 16 centimetre lobster.
That's it.
headed a little bit back out towards the boat on another one of these beautiful high ridges, which is where we tend to find the lobsters out here. And I just spotted one down there, and again I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's going to be very, very close to oversized, but yeah, it was a nice beautiful legal right on the maximum, this one. And you guessed it, yeah, it's another big boy. It's just amazing, all the lobsters we're pulling out are big boys.
Woo, nice one.
Good on you, mate. That's a nice.
It'll be legal too, this one. Just legal, I reckon.
Yeah, perfect, eh?
Woo.
Gotta love that.
You've got to love conditions like this when you can just swim along on the surface, look down, see an absolute donkey sitting in this bowl, right out in the open, not moving. I thought, is this a molt when I first looked at it? But just continue the trend of these great big male lobsters just right out in the open. As I was saying before, it takes them a little bit to get up to the actual decent speed because of that huge head they got to lift up. So yeah, I can just grab it like a football being passed to me. Just have a look at my hands around it, just the size of the head on this. It's absolutely enormous. So beautiful big big lobster.
Go and hold it so I can feel you.
That's a beast, eh? Fucking good price. That's how mine was out in the open like that too. That's a beast.
Jeez.
What a beast.
That is huge.
You got the bag? It's not real fucking good. I can't get it deeper.
Bloody out of the water. Crazy.
As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. Please feel free to leave any comments. I'm always happy to answer any questions or address any concerns anyone might have. And safe diving out there.